Alright, hello everyone, you're welcome back once again. My name is still Victor Digomo here, and we are still looking at questions. Right now, we are looking at questions around partial variation. Partial variation. I'll put up the question, we'll look at it together. This question says the charge of a telephone call T. So they gave a letter for it. The charge of a telephone call T is partially constant and partially varies with the number n of units of call. The bill for 420 units of call is 806 naira, while the bill for 200 units of call is 410 naira. Okay, please take note that the unit of measurement can be anything. All right, this is in naira. It can be in dollar, it can be in euro, it can be in anything. All right. So far as you know the currency you are using, you can understand, get the knowledge, and apply appropriately. Okay. All right. It says obtain the charge per unit call. B. Find the formula for T. In partial variation, what we are looking at is a quantity that depends on two other quantities. A quantity that depends on two other quantities. Let me give an illustration. If you want to make dress, you want to sew cloth, okay, you realize that the cost of making a dress will depend on two things. One is the cost of the material, okay. So one is the cost of the material, and secondly is the design. The type of design that is needed is going to also affect the cost. So you see that here the cost is dependent on two things. So in such a case, we call it a partial variation because quantity is dependent on two other quantities. Do you understand? All right. Now, in this case, the next thing we do here is that we assign two constants. So if they told us here now that the charge of the telephone call T, so they gave us T to be the cost of the telephone call, that it is dependent on the number of units of call, okay? It's partly constant and partly varies with the number of units of call. So that cost, T, I will assign two constants, A and B. A plus B, then N. This is the number of units of call. This is the cost. Okay. I'm putting cost. I should have used C as a cost, but since the question is already, this is another thing, issues around students listening to what the exam is saying, what the question is giving as an instruction. The exam is saying T is the cost or the charge. So I will not go and I will not change it. You have to maintain what they have given. So now what I'm emphasizing is that I am going to assign two constants here. Two constants here. So having expressed this now, I can now begin to put the values they provided. They say the bill for 420 units call is 806 naira. So for 806 naira, okay, we will have A plus the units of call attached to it is 420B. This is N, the number of units of call. We give this, but have why the bill for 200 units of call is 410 naira. So we have for 410 naira, we will have A plus 200B. So if you look at these two questions, you realize that it is equation in two unknown, which we normally solve simultaneously. I'm sure that is very, very clear. Equations in two unknown. All right. So if I solve this simultaneously, I'm just going to subtract 1 and 2. Anyhow, but the most important thing, maintain absolute values. Okay. So this minus this. If this were to be on top, just keep the absolute value. So this minus this will check. I have done the calculation already. So 806 minus 410 gave me 396. So I'll have here 396 equals to a minus a is 0. And then 420 minus 200, that will give me 220b. So you realize that if I divide both sides by 220, I'm going to have b to be equals to 396 over 220. So my b, by my calculation there, is 1.6. 1? No. Yes. It's 1.8 rather, by my calculation there. Take your calculator and divide this and this and check if it is 1.8. Please verify that. So by my calculation is 1.8. I am going to return this back to any of these equations. Either one or two, anywhere you put it. So I will say replace b equals to 1.8 in 1. So if I come back to 1, I will have 806 equals to a plus 420 bracket 1.8. So back again in my calculation, 420 times this gave me 756. So I have 806 equals to a plus 756. So it's just simple subtraction. You will now have this will come over here and you have your a equals to 806 minus 756. So what do we have? 806 minus 756. That will give you a to be equals to 50. So we can come back here and make those substitutions. This value and this value, we replace it here, and we can now answer the first question that says obtain the charge per unit core. What do you mean by that? You just simply saying when n is 1 per unit core, when n is 1. So if we come back to this equation, we have t equals to a. Now our a is 50, so we will have 50 plus 1.8n. This is the already we have answered equation question number 2 that says find the formula for t. This is the formula for t. Okay, that is the equation for t, and then obtaining the charge per unit core is simply the charge per unit core is when n is equals to 1. So this is t equals to 50 plus 1.8 times 1. So this will be 50 plus 1.8. Of course, t will be equals to the charge t will be 51.8. That unit of measurement, you attach it. Students forget. There's something here, so I can also attach this one, Kubo. I'm sure you know what I did. All right. So this is this question. Is in partial variation. We are going to take another one. There are about 2 classes already we have done in variation, just variation. You know, we have direct variation, we have joint variation, and this is partial variation. We've done a class on direct variation and joint variation. Yeah. So if you check out those classes, you learn from. The best is to subscribe to the channel so that you can have access to those classes. And as well, if you click on the notification button, the other classes we are bringing, you also be notified about them. That's the essence of that. So I trust God you are going to do that. Please be of an encouragement to our channel, and if you do that, God will bless you. Thank you.